Hello, YouTube Nation. Archie here. This weekend, being Easter Sunday and all, has been a sad weekend. They have found and confirmed the body of Jeremiah Oliver. He was found in a suitcase-type duffel bag, dropped off on the side of a highway. I did, start my stuff trying to help. I started a search a few days, I would say Thursday or something. Late last week, before Friday, and it's sad to say that the kid was murdered. They still have a long investigation to do on it, but I'm hoping that they find evidence to prove the mother, the two scumbags are the prime suspects. Like I said, I did start a search of my own. I did find a whole dugout behind on my last video I did of missing Jeremiah Oliver video. That's the title, and there was a dugout there. A whole dug. It was at least 2 feet deep. And it's, I can't say for a fact that it was the boyfriend, but if it was, he must have got spooked. And it is good. One thing's good out of this that I mentioned in my last video and the other video, that hopefully he did not dump Jeremiah in the dumpster, 2 dumpsters that were behind his house. So my theory of him being a dumb son of a bitch is true. He is dumb, stupid, and, I'm glad for that. I am really glad that he turned out to be a real dumb fuck. Pardon my language, But, yeah, that just, I'm still overwhelmed and sick to the stomach to even think of that poor kid and the last moments of his life and what he saw in the eyes of some stupid monster. Like I say all the time, I got 4 kids, and to even think or imagine that happening, and I can imagine, believe me, I got a photographic memory, and I can imagine what that kid just went through in his last minutes of life, and it's like, wow, And there he is after he's done with him, oh, what do I do now? And stuff him in a bag and just throw him off the side. I think the puss bag got scared and must have, you can believe this or not, I want to say one thing and mention it, that I did have a gut sign feeling that going towards Worcester, like I say, you can believe me or not, I was thinking of this, of him going to Worcester due to the fact also that he was a Latin king. Out to Worcester, Springfield, Western Mass way. Towards that way, there's a lot of Latin kings out there. I met one myself. Literally, I met a real-life Latin king with a tattoo that I was incarcerated out in Springfield, and, he had a bandage around the tattoo that he was not allowed to reveal, of course, because they didn't allow that, and he showed it to me. So, that's what I was thinking, maybe out that way, but who knows, maybe he got real spooked. Something must have happened and make him just drop him off on the side of the road. But, I'm glad he's been found. I'm glad he can get the proper burial that he deserves, not to rot out for some damn forsaken friggin' wooded area. you know, I feel for the family. I give them I want to give them a moment of silence right now. I would like to take a moment. Yeah, sorry for the TV. But I wrote a poem, two poems actually on this, and I mean, I wrote one for my thoughts, and I wrote one for the family because, trying to create one was very hard to come out with the right words and make it sound right, and my emotions and mixed in with it a poem I would like to give to the family at one point in time. Any little, knowledge or piece of words help, I think, in anybody's time of need, but getting it mixed up with my emotions and the feelings and their poem I wanted to write to him, and give it to him the right way, led me to write two poems. So I would like to go over them. Like I say, I want to give the other one to the family. But like I also said, that it just, the way this emotional ride, having 4 kids and to think one of them just not here no more, it's just unbearable. You just can't, there's no words to explain. You can't explain it. There's no words that can explain. And when it happens in a cruel manner like it did, like with these 2 scum fucks, it makes it even worse. This first poem I want to go over is called Little Jeremiah. They're both titled Little Jeremiah. This first poem is my thoughts, and it goes, "You have been found, but your soul will be forever lost and deeply missed. You should have been loved by your mother and always looking for that hug and kiss. But she left you to deal with the monsters that roam the earth. She didn't even care of your family and how much your love to them was worth. And just like them, I too will be haunted of you being left at a dark, gloomy place. I would choke up when they would show your story, and still you were not found. I could tell just by looking at you that you had a uniqueness as a child. You seemed like you would light up a room and put a smile on everyone's face. Now, just like others, I'm left with memories and images to know that my son would have started school with you and could have been your friend. Instead, I leave you with these words and a shattered mind that they had to find you dead. I know no words I can say can make the family feel any better. But if I were to say something, it would be, stay strong, and just remember Jeremiah will always be with you, safe with Jesus in the heavens." That was the first, my thoughts on the whole ordeal. I mean, I do not like the fact that his mother did this, nor I'm sure anybody wouldn't. But I mean, if I had my law, judge, jury, and executioner, believe me, there wouldn't even be no, innocent before proven guilty. There wouldn't. There just wouldn't. And that's it with my thoughts. I mean, her and that man would both be dead right now. And like I say, something? Lately, these cases that come out with kids, any kid, it's been, there's even a new teacher on the news, pornography of children, and it's just getting fucking ridiculous, man. Come on, really? What the hell makes these people think that kids are sexual objects is beyond me. Or a beaten, punching bag and just, Man. If I was the judge and the jury, everything that if I was to hear it in the case, what that person did to that child, I would leave it to the families that are suitable, enough that if it was suitable enough, I would leave it to the families to do what they did to their child or their family member, whatever the case may be. That's what my law would be. Do to them of what they did to others. That's it. Bottom line. Because this right here, this is sick. This is sick, man. And then the kid was, before he came missing, he was, pronounced with a broken arm, brought to the hospital. I don't know if they put a cast on it or not, or whatever they did, or it was told, you put a splint on it, you got to get him to a cast specialist. That's what happened to my son recently. We had to go to a cast specialist, and I don't know, they probably didn't even want to follow up on it. He's crying, I think that he must have just been crying, his arm hurt. And this piece of shit just got so frustrated with him and killed him. And who knows what the relationship was like between the mother and the guy. Who knows? Wasn't probably even good. They said they heard screaming all the time in that apartment. You don't know if he was screaming at her and her kids or just her kids, and she was just right along with him. So, because they want to spend their time, you know how that is, right? New lovers in a quarrel, new boyfriend, girlfriend, they want to have their time, but the kids won't let you. Oh, well, if you cannot handle kids, you need to go to a class. People need to go to a class and be educated more. That's what I know. They need to be educated real much more. And if they can't handle it, they should be fixed immediately. If they show signs of, this kid, and, I can't handle it, and they do something violent and do something stupid, snip time, fix. You're not capable. It should be a new law. I tell you right now, they should make that a law. Anyways, here's my second poem, and this is to the family. Hopefully one day I can give it to them and they will accept it. This is, I did not know you all, but being a father of 4 and watching the story be told, and like others, I'm heartbroken of how this did unfold. I feel the pain like a knife went in my heart, knowing my son would have went to the same school, class, even could have been friends. Now all that is left is memories and images of his smile. I'm sure everyone would say it would go on for miles. I could see he had a uniqueness of making people laugh, and I know, like any kid, he'd love to play. And to know now that his life was cut short, well, I hope this poem can give you some support, because I know your family has been ripped apart. Not much more, all in all, can be said. All you can do now, every night before you all go to bed, and you do not wake up out of nightmares and start to lose your head, to dream of Jeremiah being safe from the monsters that once walked around his bed. He's safe in heaven up above, between you, his family, and Jesus. He's now surrounded by true love. And for them monsters, I hope and wish them dead. And yes, it is a little harsh at the end, but you know what? It's people like that that make people like me that nowadays it's like, and this goes all the way back into a kid that I knew. I met, briefly, but I knew him, and he became missing in 1981. And that is my missing for 31 years. And like Jeremiah Oliver's case, he too had a evil, mother's spawn that she brought into the house. I'll call them spawns, right? They're evil. They like to attack children. They like to threaten children. And I'm sure these two men did that very well, and they did it to these kids, and they're both dead, and it's almost similarities, you know, but all in all, they're both missing, they both were abused, they both were murdered, and it's like, where do you go from here? When is it ever going to stop? When are these people gonna, oh man, I wish there was a way to just find out who does what to these kids. They should all be punished like kids get, you know, brutally murdered, beaten, raped, you know, any harm done to a child in a brutal manner should get it done back to them. Period. End of story. If I was a judge, jury, and executioner, that's what I would do. Let alone just being a judge and a jury. Execute them afterwards. Let them die a long, slow death. And if the person died a long, slow death and you can prove that, they should do the same thing. The families should get permission, should have laws based on what had been done, and let them do to the, and if that person is fully, you know, not the, you know, not the ones that are not, of course, you got to make sure they're fully innocent before you do it. And if they're not, you know, you're done. You get the punishment that you gave. That's it. I think that should be a new law. Because when is this going to stop? When are the Jeremiah Olivers and the Taj Narbonne ever going to see a life? 9 years old in 1981, and now this kid was 5 years old. And it just keeps on and on and on and on and on. You got stuff dated back from the 1700s of kids being murdered, killed, raped. It doesn't matter. It's just been hidden back then, but nowadays they make it, you know, look like it's all right. They make it look like, oh, Casey Anthony gets away with it. Maybe these people were thinking the same thing in some similar ways. He did it. We can do it. So, but anyways, I wanted to share them poems with you. I wanted to update everybody on that if you have not heard of it around the world or whatnot. But he has been found, and hopefully justice is served the right, proper way to these scumbags that did it to him. Other than that, world, YouTube Nation now, world of YouTube, I will see you on the next video. I do have a lot more coming up, but this one, I am out. Y'all take care. Big salute. Good night.